Worldly manners and decorum. The deception of these things.
We're fighting in the army of the Lord.
Hi, I'm Vivian Gendernalic from viviangendernalic.com. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. My channel is about doing my part in the Great Commission through sharing divine revelations I receive through dreams, supernatural encounters, visions, and Christian music. Today's video I want to share with you is about the deception of worldly manners and decorum. Something that is even being featured and taught by Christians. Now, some Christians want worldly standards of manners and etiquette, how to behave towards others, what to do under certain circumstances, the proper way to speech, behavior, dress, and so on. They will agree with them, find them good to both teach and do. But they don't want the actual godly standards given in the Bible of manners and decorum and behavior, form and dress, neither to do them or teach them. They absolutely reject that level because it displaces them in the world milieu. It makes them out of line and unpopular. They will gladly embrace the standards of the world of what is proper, what is decent, and make that their Bible in their way to present themselves and behave before others. But the actual Bible teaches us you can't sit at the table of demons and the table of God, that you are only fooling yourself if you are. The standard of God is in clash with the standard of men, and it is not votable, amenable, adaptable with the change of times, for God never changes. Thus his standards never change. The way to truly understand that is to understand that God's standards never arose from concepts, ideas, never were products of evolution, or involved any process of refinement, because from the moment God spoke them, they were complete and perfect. But many men want to make them so in order to justify deviations that fit their worldly desires. God is not a man, and he does not work like a man from concepts and ideas that get better over time, evolve, and work towards removing all of the negatives. So over time it is refined. What God refines is the imperfect, which is humanity. He sifts wheat from chaff and refines the wheat like silver in trials of fire, and discards all dross. Although incredibly, some pastors even want to teach otherwise and make, when it suits their lifestyles, some part of the Bible's instructions on how to act and dress, standards of past cultures no longer relevant today. God's standards of holiness were established complete. Not works in progress that can improve with other minds, but complete and perfect, high above the standards of men, through divine, undefiled mindset. These standards reign today in heaven, as it did when God established them. Heaven doesn't have naked angels. However, the corruption of some men display them this way in various works of worldly art. The Lord presents himself in holiness from top to toe, and that is the model the Bible tells us we are to emulate. You are to be perfect, fry and perfect, and only the holy of a holiness defined by God will see God. There's a wave today of teaching youth worldly etiquette, and this is the standard given as pure and good because it meets the decency ideas of modern times. However, these standards are not in line with the biblical standards God established. For example, the proper dress God speaks of is the same as when he spoke of them, for God never changes, and his decree of what is decent and indecent are the same. Such as exposing the thigh, he makes clear is like nakedness. And the beauty we are to focus and grow is the one from within. Braided hair, gold jewelry, fine clothing, which are things that can lead to tempting others or a proud spirit, we are to forsake. So you don't get that job at that firm because you adhere to God's standards of decorum that shows you plain next to the office staff, transformed into models by makeup and dress. But you do get that mansion in heaven for forsaking the world and making pleasing God your aim over pleasing men. Which one then is the better goal to teach our youth? Which one then is the better one to strive for? The temporal minded that is a deception, a mirage, or the holy minded, which Romans 6:22 tells us bears eternal fruit. You shouldn't judge the merit of a world standard that even a Christian may be behind, even promoting the merit of such a standard by the number of Fortune 500 business in support of it. But you should judge whether it is entirely in line with the only power that matters. And that power you are not going to find listed in the Fortune 500, which is a list, by the way, comprised of entities that will have changing names, for they are things of men. That power, which actually is a being called the I Am, the Lord our God, he will never be usurped, never changed. The name there is eternal, a power that will reign forever, being not a thing of men, so never weak or corrupt and subject to fall. The manner and decorum we are to teach are ones of godliness. What good is it to know what fork to use at certain times of a meal and forfeit your soul with eyes set on pleasing the world? What does it profit you to outwardly master dressing for success in the world and fall to hell because you neglected the success that mattered, cleansing your inner self of the dead bones that filled it? What is the point to have a sharp eye for what is good in the world, yet be found before the seat of the holy judge, having poor vision from all the darkness you put those eyes to, that left your body full of darkness, making darkness the treasure where your heart will be found?